Hello, and welcome to English for Everyone, where we practice real-life American English. Today we're going to learn to avoid an important mistake, so let's get started. This is a mistake I hear very often from my students, so I know it's very common. It's a common mistake. Let's talk about it. You cannot say close by my house or nearby my house. We don't say this. Why not? Because close by and nearby are used in a different way. First, let's look at the difference. Close by is two words. Sometimes it's hyphenated, but usually it's two words. And nearby is one word. But they both mean the same thing, in the area. So I cannot say close by my house or nearby my house, but I can say there's a hospital close by. The idea, there's a hospital in the area. I can say there's a hospital nearby. The idea, there's a hospital in the area. We use nearby or close by in this situation. But I cannot connect it to another place. I cannot say close by my house or nearby my house. We don't say this. Let's practice. Is there a hospital nearby? That's right, there's a hospital nearby. Is there a hospital close by? That's right, there's a hospital close by. The idea, there's a hospital in the area. It's nearby. It's close by. They're used the same way here. So now let's talk about how they're different. They're different in one way. I can use nearby as an adjective before a noun. Example, there's a nearby hospital. We see that nearby is before the noun hospital. Describing it, it's an adjective. There's a nearby hospital. But I cannot do the same thing with close by. I cannot say there's a close by hospital. We don't say this. We don't use close by before a noun as an adjective. We only use nearby in this way. There's a nearby hospital. Let's practice. Is there a nearby hospital? That's right, there's a nearby hospital. But I can say it's close by or it's nearby. Let's practice. Is it nearby? That's right, it's nearby. Is it close by? That's right, it's close by. It's in the area. So how do I use near and close if I want to connect it to my house? I cannot say close by my house or nearby my house. So how do we say it correctly? We say close to my house. With close, we use to. Close to my house. With close, we use to. Close to my house. And with near, there's no to. You cannot say near to my house. It's just near my house. But they both mean the same thing. They're just a little different. Example, there's a hotel close to my house. Or I can say there's a hotel near my house. Let's practice. Is there a hotel close to my house? That's right, there's a hotel close to my house. Is there a hotel near my house? That's right, there's a hotel near my house. So remember, when you use close by as two words or nearby as one word, do not connect it to another place. Example, you cannot say close by my house or nearby my house. We say close to my house or near my house with no by. But if you use close by and nearby, it means in the area. Example, there's a hospital nearby or there's a hospital close by. But if you put it before the noun, you can only use nearby. There's a nearby hospital. I cannot say there's a close by hospital. Only nearby in this case when you put it before the noun. There's a nearby hospital. Thank you for watching, and keep watching to learn more mistakes that you need to avoid. Don't say some minutes. Technically it's correct, but it doesn't sound good. It sounds better to say a few minutes. Example, a few minutes later. Or I'll see you in a few minutes. Example, he's making a sandwich. How long will it take to make the sandwich? It'll take a few minutes. He'll be done in a few minutes. Let's practice. What is he doing? That's right, he's making a sandwich. How long will it take? That's right, it'll take a few minutes. When will he be done? That's right, he'll be done in a few minutes. So remember, don't say some minutes. He'll be done in some minutes. He'll finish in some minutes. Doesn't sound good. Say a few minutes. He'll be done in a few minutes. That's right. Avoid using the words much and many. Of course, they're very common words and you'll hear them all the time. But if you're learning English as a second language, it's very easy to make mistakes with these words. One problem is much is for non-countable words and many is for countable words. So it's easy to make a mistake there. Example, many books. He has many books. I cannot say much books because it's countable. I use many. And if I say cash or money, that's not countable. I cannot say many money or many cash. I have to say much. But there's another problem. We don't use much in a positive structure. It sounds strange. If I say he has much cash, he has much money. So it's easy to make mistakes with these two words, much and many. So what do you use instead? Instead of much and many, use a lot of. A lot of is used for countable and non-countable things. I can say he has a lot of money, and I can say she has a lot of books. A lot of is always correct. I can use a lot of for positive ideas. Remember, I cannot say he has much money. He has a much cash. We don't use much in a positive structure, so I have to say a lot of. He has a lot of cash. He has a lot of money. Pronunciation, a lot of. The T makes a fast D sound, a lot of cash, a lot of money. You can pronounce the V sound at the end, a lot of money and a lot of cash, but when this comes before a consonant, a lot of times you don't hear the V sound. But of course you can make it, it's correct. You can hear a lot of money or a lot of money. You can hear a lot of cash or a lot of cash. Let's practice. Does she have a lot of books? That's right, she has a lot of books. Does he have a lot of money? That's right, he has a lot of money. Does he have a lot of cash? That's right, he has a lot of cash. So, to help you reduce the number of mistakes you make, don't use much and don't use many. Use a lot of, and you'll avoid a lot of mistakes. Today we're going to learn some great vocabulary, so let's get started. First, don't say this word. Why not? It's a real word, but it's really long, and it's difficult to pronounce. And we have an easier way of saying it. First, let's look at the word carbohydrates. Carbohydrates. Some people say carbohydrates. Some people say carbohydrates. The DR is pronounced with the j sound, plus the R together, jr. Carbohydrates. It's a very long word. You're talking about food made from flour, bread, cake, pasta, things like that. So what do you say instead of carbohydrates? Say carbs. It's much easier and it's more common. Carbs. The AR makes the R sound like car and far. The S makes a Z sound like zebra. Make the vibration. Z. Carbs. Carbs. They say carbs are bad for you because if you have too many carbs, it turns into sugar in your body, and sugar is not good for you. So people are trying not to eat so many carbs. Example, you can have a sandwich or you can have a wrap. A wrap is basically the same thing as a sandwich, but there's no bread. You use a flour tortilla instead of bread. Why? Because it has fewer carbs. So example, a sandwich has more carbs than a wrap. A wrap can have the same ingredients as a sandwich, and it normally does, but there's no bread, you use a flour tortilla because it has fewer carbs. So 2 examples. A sandwich has more carbs than a wrap, and a wrap has fewer carbs than a sandwich. So in America, a lot of people prefer a wrap because it has fewer carbs. Let's practice. Does a sandwich have more carbs than a wrap? That's right, a sandwich has more carbs than a wrap. Let's practice. Does a wrap have fewer carbs than a sandwich? That's right, a wrap has fewer carbs than a sandwich. It's healthier. It's better for you. So remember, you don't have to struggle trying to pronounce this long, difficult word, carbohydrates. You can just say carbs. It's more common and it's easier. So, Don't say care for. Why not? Well, it's really confusing. It has 3 different meanings. And we have better alternatives. The first meaning, care for, is a phrasal verb and it can mean to like or love someone, somewhere in the middle between like and love. So it's not clear. If you like someone, say I like you. You're fun to hang around. And if it's serious, say I love you. Don't say I care for you. It sounds old anyway. I care for you, my darling. It sounds old. Don't say care for in this case. Say like. If it's not serious, say love if it's serious. Be clear. So that's if you're talking about a person. But what if you talk about a thing? Well, if you talk about a thing, you can say I don't care for it. It's very limited. It's only for things. It's not for people. And it's only for the negative. So it's really limited. Example, I don't really care for country music. This is correct, but why don't you just say, I don't really like country music? It's easier and it's not so limited. So you could say, I don't really care for country music or I don't like country music. Say I don't like country music. Use like. It's better. It's not so limited. Let's practice. Do you like country music? That's right. I don't really like country music. And the third meaning of care for is to take care of. Example, I can say, she takes care of an elderly woman. Or I can just say, take care of. She takes care of an elderly woman. This is more conversational. It sounds better. Care for is more formal. So the main problem, care for is confusing because it has these 3 different meanings. So basically, care for is just confusing. It can mean different things. So in this situation, say take care of. She takes care of an elderly woman. Let's talk about an elderly woman. This is another word for an old lady. But it's not nice to say an old lady. It doesn't sound very nice. It's better to say an elderly woman. So use take care of. She takes care of an elderly woman. Let's practice. Does she take care of an elderly woman? That's right, she takes care of an elderly woman. So avoid using care for, the phrasal verb. It can mean different things. That makes it confusing. If I talk about a person, it's somewhere between love and like. So it's not clear. I care for you. Do you like me? Do you love me? I'm not sure. Use like and use love. Don't use care for. And if you talk about things like country music, it's limited only to the negative statement. And that's only to talk about things. So it's limited. Avoid it. It's confusing and limited. Thank you for watching. And if you like this video, subscribe to our channel. And if you want to become a member, click the join button. And we'll see you next time.